Okay, welcome everyone. Tonight we are playing 316 Carnage Starts. This is session 20, so this will be when we complete the circuit. My name is Donna, my pronouns are him, and I'm running the show tonight. So yeah, let's get intros from our players and characters in seniority order, top to bottom.
Well, I mean, I think Brian's been in more sessions than I have as a player. I've been a major a little bit longer, but he started as a trooper and worked his way all the way up to major. So
sort of, he did skip from trooper to sergeant off screen.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right.
But did get sergeant kind of legitimately because he had the highest NFA
there was a big
among those.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It was like him and a bunch of new troopers, basically.
Okay. So, well, I'll go ahead and start then. I'm Jim Crocker. I use he, him, or they, them as you prefer. I am playing Major BD, the BD standing for button down, although we have learned at some point that his name is actually Bob, but we don't know more than that. Like Brian and I were saying, worked my way up. I've worked my way up from sergeant up to the position of major here, and we've been on a bunch of missions. We'll see how it goes today.
And I'm Brian, he, him, playing Major Terry Miter, also he, him. I've probably been in the most missions of anyone here today, although I've missed, I think I've been in like every other group of games, maybe. I don't know exactly how many I missed, but and I'm Terry hit max level last session, which means he's got no more stat points to gain, no more strengths or weaknesses to unlock.
The steady decline now that you've hit the top. Cool. And Puckett lastly.
Hi there, I'm Puckett. I use he, him pronouns. Today I'll be playing Sergeant Dietrich. Dietrich is, less intelligent than a bag of hammers, but an equally blunt implement.
Cool. And we may be joined by Leandro halfway through the session, or maybe in an hour or so, who'll be playing Trooper Apples, I believe. Okay. This week we are moving on, and you have a very definite target this week. It's not like you don't know exactly where you're heading. You have discovered intel on the last world Picasso, pointing you at this Waterworld called Rembrandt. So this is your mission, right? in respects, and this is where you kind of finally aim to track down the aliens at the heart of all this trouble that's been caused for Terra and humanity. So yeah, why don't I would like to kind of spitball a little bit of the briefing. Let's come up with some details together. Maybe you've been able to get a view of this or unpack some of that intel that you got on Picasso. So let's start with Jim and see what BD has in store for us all.
I think one thing that I have in store for us is the scene where the troopers are looking skeptically at the aquatic modifications that have been made to their Mandelbrite armor.
Okay, yeah.
Allowing them to dive. And we've got, like big tanks with like plastisteel, windows filled with water. And we're like training them on how to move properly and what to do if their suit busts a seal, but they're underwater and stuff like this, and how their weapons fire differently, and things like that. And, you know, we may even have to mod them somehow to make sure that they're, you know, that they're working properly if we actually have to fight in the water proper.
I mean, you're going to have to fight in the water proper.
Yeah. So,
so what kind of mod have you got on your flamethrower, right, to make it work in water?
it's the same kind of thing that they use on like an underwater cutting torch, right? It is like highly compressed, like gelatinized gasoline or something like this.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like high temperature white phosphorus or something. You know, it doesn't burn for long, but it gets injected out, and it's so hot. It is so hot that it instantly like flash steams the water.
Yeah.
And there's enough oxygen in that breakdown of the water to sustain like a burst of flame literally underwater.
Yeah, cool.
It
doesn't need long. Yeah.
Yeah, no. It makes it a little more volatile. The fuel, you definitely don't want to like the tank, the highly pressurized tank that is required to jet this stuff out underwater is quite a bit more volatile than a standard flame gun fuel supply. Probably like a tank strapped onto my Mandelbrite armor instead of just a canister that goes into the bottom of the flame gun like it normally would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all of our weapons have have been juiced up somehow so that they'll actually work.
Okay, cool.
But like, I know somebody at Special Services Group. We have a really good relationship with them. They've given us the latest out of the R&D section. Some of this stuff hasn't been officially approved yet. That's how cool this is, that they're letting us use weapons that haven't been officially approved yet for trooper use. Which BD is like puts forth to everybody as this is a privilege and we're the best of the best. And that's why they're making us the guinea pigs for these experimental weapons that haven't ever been used in the field before. Which I think we've had it happen at least once in our run, yeah. So.
And thankfully, none of those exploded last time out. So, but I guess we're really saying that they're just environmental hacks of the existing weapons. There's no stat changes or anything like that. Cool. How about MITRE? You've got to put the company through its paces for this training, and you've been on some watery places like swamps or stuff where the rain made it basically oceanic, or that reef and Coral Islands place a while back, but nothing that's going to be like dropping you in the drink literally. So how is the training going?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's focused on like there's like tactics for facing like flying aliens, and it's like, okay, we have to like adapt these protocols, because now not just from above, but they could also come rising up out of the depths. So it's just exactly the same as keeping a watch out for aliens who can fly and swoop in from above. Just rotate that 180 degrees, copy that below, and
So what I'm hearing is it's the same, only twice as bad.
Is all the more opportunities to fire on aliens.
All you need is kill, right? That's the secret. Any troopers standing out on the training, or either for good or for bad?
I think they try to fly below the notice of any majors. I mean, yeah, I think Terry's probably definitely noticing some groups adapting better than others, and just is making mental note to like, okay, those are the groups that are maybe send out to scout versus the groups to keep close and that kind of thing. But Yeah.
Who was bitching about the new grenade manual before? That seems like whichever trooper that was, it was like giving you all kinds of crap about the new grenade policies. Seems like the one who would probably be complaining about this as well.
No idea who
Yeah,
that was.
was it Arkley? I think is that the name we had
Probably,
last
yeah.
time?
I think so. Yeah.
And let me guess, you really don't want us throwing grenades in underwater, right? I mean, like the shockwave is going to kill us twice as bad, huh? Yeah, and how about Dietrich? I think you've got quite a lot of people bitching back in the bunk room about like this modifications to the armor, and it's all terrible. I mean, we're gonna die. We're gonna die, Sarge.
No one's gonna be smoking on this mission, that's for sure.
I sure as hell hope not. If somebody's smoking, that means they're above where they're in a place where they can actually get oxygen. And well, based on that briefing, we ain't gonna get that. Basically, as everybody's yammering away, say it's as if most of you forgot that you breathed water for 9 months for most of you. When, well, I'm not going to get into any of the birds and bees details here, but you breathed water before. This time you'll actually have air around you and you'll be swimming in water. It ain't that big a deal. I mean, look at me. Chew some gum. Also, make sure you fire things sufficiently far away so the explosive charges will fire and actually explode, because they have been set at ranges so they do not kill us in the process. Any questions?
No, Sarge.
Buck up, campers. We get to go for a swim this time. This is practically a vacation for us.
We've heard that before. And those are the worst places, Sarge. The places that are like a vacation.
Well, okay, it is true that I may have a slightly different definition of vacation. For me, a vacation is when I get to go someplace and kill a lot of ugly things. Maybe you all have a different idea. I mean, we'll work on that. I'll take you on vacation with me next time.
That's called being in the brigade, right?
Best vacation a man ever had.
And they pay us for this, too.
Indeed. And they give us all the $2 steak we can eat.
And some kind of a friendly brawl breaks out because someone says, wait, you got paid?
And I'll just chew on a cigar and let that go.
So it's, they're coming around to your way of thinking, maybe.
Well, I mean, they got to blow off some steam.
They do have to blow off some steam.
I'd rather have them like wrestling each other right now than getting angry about everything. I mean, let them wrestle each other. As long as nobody gets anything broken permanently, then it's all good.
Yeah. So yeah, they blow off a bit of steam. They seem, happy troopers by the time you're about to get out of hyperspace. I want to cut back to the lab with BD. Maybe doing some final checks on some of the experimental weapons, right? And you see the light flashing and the klaxon. A little bit muted inside the lab, but still there to warn you that you're coming out of 0G when you pop back into normal space. And so you're ready for it, as I imagine BD is always squared away. But that's not the big change, right, in the lab when you drop into orbit. Every alien specimen you have that is responsive and alive perks up as soon as you jump into orbit, right? The two guys who are McCready and Ward, the guys you rescued, who are still in an observation center. They've been chatting like across the hallway to each other, and they just suddenly stop. And things that are in a safety cage, maybe a little bit more mobile than just crystals that you captured before, they go ballistic. They start banging on the cages, putting some serious effort into getting at you.
All right, so I'm going to make sure that we get some extra security in the lab. This is the time when something gets out that we previously thought was entirely secure. So we've got, I want full-time armed guards in the lab. Or order that to happen.
Okay, yeah.
And is there any sort of reaction in the crystal itself? Does it seem to be is there any kind of energy coming off of it, or any change to it since we've arrived here?
It's not a game changer, right? Like, you look at it and nothing's happening, but over the course of some time, you could see it growing a little bit.
Oh, okay, starting to kind of sprout and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like also getting a little bit, sheeny. It's not like it's wet, but it's kind of sliding around, getting a little bit more mobile. Mm-hmm. But they're all squared away in stasis chambers. It's not like they're gonna, just saunter out and start doing things. Right?
Sure. And so we've got those armed guards, and they have orders to terminate with extreme prejudice anything that should actually get out of one of those cages. And I'm going to take note of that. And I think we got to go ask those two what's going on. I got to go down there with Borofsky, and we're going to, so if when I get the word that they're behaving strangely,
yeah.
So we go down and talk to them.
Yeah. So they've just gone quiet, right? I guess it's noticeable. Whoever's watching them, they're chatting, and they just cut off the moment gravity comes back. So it's not, again, jump out spectacular or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they don't know what's going on. They know the deal. They know that they jumped into a new system, but you ask them what's going on, and they look a little bit confused. Like, what is going on? I don't know.
Okay. They don't feel different or strange or anything like that?
We got gravity again, right? Which is good.
Same story. Foot outside of those cages, just kill them.
Sorry, Jim, you just broke up a little bit there. I caught the very start and the very end of that sentence, so I think I can fill in the gaps. Yeah. If they get out, just kill them, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
If they get out, kill them, and then and put the bodies into stasis, quarantine the bodies. So
okay.
First study.
Yeah, and I think the guards kind of exchange a look, right? Because that's an unusual order, but I guess you picked the squad to do security on the section's lab for a reason, right? These guys are dependable. Right? Okay. Let's cut back to the main company. So you jump in, and everyone starts getting ready, and maybe like 20 minutes later, everything goes into red alert, which is like, obviously you're about to invade a planet, and it's not like everything is friendly, but you've gone one level back up, and then you can feel thrust being applied to the ship. So the Atlas is pulling some maneuvers, and then you start to hear the thumping of weaponry going off. You know, so the guns start shattering, right? You know, decks are hopping and bulkheads are creaking, and then like cut in between those, you have like the relatively quiet, you know, pops of missile launchers. Yeah, like troopers are freaked out, right? And they are holding on for dear life. You know, some of them are still in their overalls or jumpsuits or whatever, and some are half into their armor, and you know, everyone is getting ready. But yeah, things are not calm right here.
And I just, you know, am in the hallway along with Miter, and hot drop. You know, we're going down through the, you know, through the fire. We need to, you know, whatever's shooting at us, we need to take it down. You know, mission is on, and I'm, you know, in your suit, going down the line, you know, getting everybody, you know, and like, I think Miter and I are like going down the opposite side, just like checking seals and making sure all the, you know, everybody's buttoned up like they're supposed to be. Everybody's weapons are ready to go. And then we're into the drop ship, I think, which has been, you know, modified for submersible activity. The drop sub, if you will.
Purely James Bond territory now for that dropship. Okay. Cool.
No, that's like there's some nerd that's almost certainly done that with like a Thunderhawk or something like that. You know,
yeah,
like
sure.
Converted it to, you know, with torpedoes instead of missile launchers or some crap like that. So, you know, put propellers on it. So yeah, so we've got that. We've got the, you know, whatever somebody's cool, you know, space marine mod that they did on their you know 40K dropship. We've got that.
What's happening like in terms of Miter? What's he taken? What's the line is he taken with this? Is you rushing the jump, or what's going on inside his head?
I mean, more than anything, Miter's always just super impatient to like see what the situation is on the ground or in the water, as the case may be.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, more or less, yeah, directing troops and getting everyone in line, but you know, taking advantage of his position to be able to see as much of what's waiting for us as possible.
Yeah, and I think like on the port side, so like you're in a gigantic hangar lining up to get into the dropship, and on the port side you see, you know, a dropship, you know, being rotated slowly into drop position, and then it just explodes, right? Something hits the port side of the hangar, and you know it rips out, and you know, in kind of a cascading chain of failure, another dropship that wasn't quite ready to go goes, and like there's troopers just spewing out into the cold, hard vacuum of space before environmental controls cut in to just cut the damage off, right? So, you know, loads of people are swept off their feet. Some equipment pallets that are, you know, require a forklift to move get sucked halfway across the hangar, probably crushing a few troopers on the way for good measure. What's Dietrich doing in all this new chaos?
I love this. We are earning our pay today. All right, everybody, back on the line. Get in the dropship.
So has Dietrich like moved his feet at all in the queue? Is he smoking a cigar as he maybe yes it's extinguished by a flash vacuum, but still pretty.
I happen to I like my lungs, and I do, in fact, have my helmet on properly. But I am chewing on a cigar stub. There's nothing wrong with that. But things go wrong. And, well, I had my mag boots locked. And I started hearing that first thump, thump. Strap in. Gonna be bumpy. That's why I was able to grab a few troopers and keep them from moving too much. And they pretty quickly realized, mag boots, this is why we have them. So people got, they got thrown around a little bit, but for the most part, we're okay.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So, yeah, dropping. So obviously, it's a water world. There's not much in the, like, maybe there's some sandbanks, maybe there's some icebergs, maybe there's some things above the surface of the water. But yeah, it's, 99.9% covered in water. Hopefully not. Hopefully there's no post-apocalyptic heroes looking for land.
Yeah, we're looking for the abandoned oil tanker with the jet skis, belching black smoke, all whirling around it. Yeah, that's.
So where have you identified as being your drop zone? Maybe not for the brigade as a whole, but for your special studies group style company.
We have instruments that can detect that crystal.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, like, whatever the highest concentration of that is, on the planet, wherever those energy readings that we're getting off of it are spiking, that's where we're going down.
Okay. I think maybe, those icebergs, some of those icebergs are icebergs, but this one here is just a crystal, right? Yeah. Okay. I like the sound of that. So
that's pretty wild. That gets a raised eyebrow out of BD for sure.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so let's go first encounter. You're in the dropship, or the drop sub, as we're calling it now. I presume BD is piloting?
Yes, I'm flying it, yeah.
Okay. So who is going to test for dominance, and tell me what your weapon of choice is? Puckett, are you going to join in on test for dominance, or?
Let me just double check, because I think I went up to NFA 8.
Yeah. No sledge.
You know what? What the hell?
Go for it.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
No longer just a kill bunny, Okay. And on weapons, presumably, I'm gonna assume it's e-cannons for both Miter and Dietrich, but how about BD?
The dropship. I'm flying the dropship.
Okay.
So
right.
so that functions as the weapon that I'm using. So yeah.
Okay. And for close encounters, sidearm, I guess, right?
What? I'm not going to need to worry about close encounters.
Obviously not.
But in I think in general, I've got my sidearm ready to go.
Okay.
It's usually what's going on. So.
That is a nice roll.
That is a good roll.
Yeah. So choose range, and
let's say. Think about this for a second. You know what? Why not near? Let's go with near. How about that?
Okay. No surprise. Keep the guys kill counter racking through. Okay, so yeah, I mean, feel free to describe what this looks like when the dropship comes in and you pick your range. In terms of
You want to tell us what's going on with the
Yeah,
aliens?
yeah.
What we're getting into here?
So you're looking at this iceberg, right? And there are you're seeing I guess the way to describe these would be they're like lampreys, right? So those underwater snakes with all jaw, right? And they seem to have. I mean, there's obviously like a horde of them swimming around the base or where the crystal iceberg hits the water, but there's a load of them just like black on white or black on this kind of whitish blue crystal, and they seem to be just soaking up the energy. And then, like, as soon as you come through, they just look up, right? And they're just animals, but they are looking at you, right? As you come in.
Yeah. And we drop in, and I say, I give kill order, exterminate all of them, and be ready for anything because they've been licking that crystal for who knows how long. And I've got a couple of missiles for that iceberg is what I've got.
Yeah.
For the rock formation. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess both of the guys are sticking the econ at the windows, right? When we go, like, you're gonna follow them underwater, right? Because they are not equipped to have a fight up in the air, right? What does it look like when you go into the water and you still have people shooting at the? Is there like mounted weapons external or something like that?
I think that what's going to happen is, it is literally like a dive bomb kind of a thing, where we just, and then there's like a big, spray of water, and we're down, and and the jets that we're dropping, kind of do one of those, and and like the turbines start spinning, and then we kind of come around, trailing this big trail of bubbles and stuff like this. And did I say missiles? I meant torpedoes.
Okay, yeah.
So and I'd like click click click, and we see the tubes fill with water, and where before the missiles would go like this, it's kind of like they go straight out from the sub and then just sort of arc towards the target that they've been programmed to to go hit, and they're just going to hopefully hit the base of that thing and start to crack it in half and stuff.
Okay. And Brian and Puckett, how about the e-cannons? How do you bring those to bear outside the dropship underwater?
I'm not picturing this as being. I think, yeah, there's slots that you lock the guns into, and I think like a ton of water gets into the cabin, and like there's it's not about keeping everyone dry. We're in suits that are fine in the vacuum of space, so yeah, there's lots of and yeah, maybe these are somewhat new. So there may even be times where you're aiming the gun, and like, yeah, just blasts of, from the pressure of the water just go like spraying into the cabin. But, it's getting pumped out quick enough that we're not going to just completely fill the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, that's just part of doing business underwater, I guess.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, the aliens are going to try to kill you. I hope you return the favor. Okay, so aliens got a 7 success, only beaten by Dietrich. So Dietrich, why don't you go first?
I am loving the way that these shells hit those aliens. Cavitation, it's like between the water pressure and the cavitation, they just implode. Like there was a chest there, and then there isn't. and there's just like this little pink bit of water. It's real pretty.
Yeah. And why don't you roll your kills? Ooh,
That's 57.
okay. 57. Okay, and yeah, these I guess they're killing the dropship, right? They're crippling the dropship, right?
Yep, they cripple the dropship. Yeah.
And you know they obviously no one takes that kill because it's your free armor.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it definitely, you know, they're finding whatever holes, whatever mounts, right, are shooting weapons. They're just clamping onto those, and then they are just squeezing through the plasteel, right? And they are, and then it goes, you know, it goes pretty bad, right? Because they hit everyone's weapon slots, and you know, there's now suddenly like 10 holes in the drop sub where there should be 0, and it's that small amount of water that you could cope with is now more in danger of bringing you to crushed depth than anything else. So what's this? An evacuation, I guess. Okay, and then we have. Oh, you rolled twice, Jim, or was that a?
It didn't show up the first
Okay,
time, so
cool.
it's both of them are under the aliens roll anyways. So, but the one is a hit. So
okay, yeah. They're hits. Okay, cool. So why don't you describe? I guess you need that sidearm now, right? when you
well no, I mean the dropship still does the kill, like you know. So that is you know, and like I think this is, like I said, the torpedoes hitting that that crystalline structure.
Yeah.
And whatever was clamped onto it getting, you know, shredded as the torpedoes hit it, which is not that much, but it's to a pow here. 9 kills, not so bad.
Yeah.
So that's.
And so yeah, I think there's like maybe a bunch of clusters below the water. You know, I think it's still kind of built like an iceberg, so there's a big long 90% of it tapering off into the depths, and every so often there's like a cluster of these things, these lamprey aliens, and you take out 1 or 2 of those and crush those. Yeah. And miter. Oh, 4.
4 on a D100.
That is that's pretty bad. Okay, so that is
yeah. What went wrong there?
Yeah. I think whatever malaise that Betsy had last week, Miter's gun has picked it up. Okay.
Yeah, I think I was just firing into regions like a second after Dietrich. You know, so I was just like, those few injured, not quite finished off ones were like all I was actually getting.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, but you've made a big impact on these guys, and you know, you're seeing these like slowly disappearing black strands, if there is any, just kind of disappear into the depths. So I'm going to give you a taste of alien ability. I'm spending a token to bring 3 tokens back that you just killed. So every cluster of those aliens that you just killed dissolves and just reforms into a different creature. So like one cluster of them is like a giant lamprey, and you know, 57 of them turns into a giant squid, right? Each like those suckers and those tentacles are looking very lamprey-ish. And you know, they just swarm back at you. What do you do?
Man, oh man, that is
Suckville, I think is the word you're looking
for. That's serious. Yeah. So
So you keep the kills, right? This is not.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
This is the regeneration ability.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you keep those kills. Those are fair and square. You killed aliens. They just got better.
So, do we want to? Yeah, I'd say, everybody out. We've got to, we've got to get them in a crossfire. Keep them from regenerating. Once they're dead, they're not dead. Keep on them.
Major, does that mean we get to kill them again?
As many times as you can, Dietrich. Sorry,
Sir.
You know what? I think I say as many times as it takes, Dietrich.
Sir, I believe I may have just found heaven.
I was about to say, any other trooper would think this is immensely unfair, but Dietrich,
yeah, this is bullshit. Yeah,
this is so awesome. Rinse and repeat. Okay, so
and I think it's yeah. So I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna hold in place while they get out. So I'm gonna risk the dropship getting destroyed to continue to pilot it.
Okay.
I think we know why Terry got so few kills. Is all of Dietrich's kills were still moving. That's why he was shooting at him.
Okay.
So he wasn't too late with his shots. He was just a little too early. They weren't alive yet to count.
Kill. Wow. Okay. So let's start with Miter on a 7.
So yeah, now that he's a little less confused as to what's going on, just takes his normal. Well, let's see. Actually, I should roll before I narrate exactly how this went. Okay, 35. Yeah, firing away at them. Although, yeah, wondering if maybe we should figure out some more effective way to do this. If they're just going to keep coming back.
The aliens go on 5, so they're killing. They're destroying the dropship and inflicting a kill on BD inside. I will remove the offending dropship.
When do we get to roll for combat drugs?
Oh, whatever you want. You have the one result that you don't like, so you can do it now.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and roll my combat.
Just don't roll another 10.
Right. Now, 10 is you just die outright, or you take a kill.
You take a kill. Yeah.
Okay.
You take a kill that you can't use armor for.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm rolling under NFA, or
you're just re-rolling FA, just like you did. First
okay.
Time. Yeah.
Okay. That is a success, but
it's
still under
the alien is still killing you and BD. Okay. So yeah, the giant squid come. I mean, I think the giant squid coming at the dropship, the drop sub makes more literary sense, right? As it crushes the ship around BD, and then that giant lamprey that formed out of the handful that got killed comes at Dietrich, and clamps that giant mouth all the way around his body or the armor around his body, and just starts to squeeze, right? Yeah.
Terry did remove a token,
yeah,
right?
I just moved it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it is Dietrich first.
Must have rattled me a little bit. I'm used to fighting bugs. I'm not used to fighting snakes, especially not the watery kind.
Yeah. And Jim, your D10 kills from the dropship. The last torpedo out of it. Nice shooting. So why don't you describe what happens to this dropship and how you get out?
I mean, I think that this is the thing where like I'm not even like, I don't think it's necessarily even anything that I fire at it. It's that like as it's crushing it, oh, you know what? I use the ejector seat. Is what happens.
Dangerous. I think it must have been refitted for underwater.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Like it's, you know, the ship is getting crushed, and you know, like the windshield just like goes, you know, crunch, and just like water just starts spewing out, and I hit the ejector, and I think like, I hit the ejector, and it like, you know, like whatever the you know, the turbojets underneath kick in and basically like smashes me through one of those squid arms. You know, and like I like knock a few of the lampreys out of the, you know, like are caught in the back blast and stuff like this. And it's, you know, and the kill is me getting, like the injury I take is me getting battered as I'm, you know, smashing through these things, you know, and then I'm up there, you know, like as I look down and see the ship just
crushed,
you know,
out. Yeah.
Crushed out, like yeah, you know, like the squid is like pushing, like mashing a beer can against its forehead or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I like doing that the first time, so I'm going to do it again. You know, all of these terrible aliens reform, and I think, you know, they're growing into the aliens, BD and Dietrich, they're going to push you out to long range. Okay. Yeah, I think they all kind of coalesce into this like ultra large giant squid with, you know, extra lampreys coming out of bits that look, even for this alien, definitely unnatural. Okay, what do you do?
Okay, they push them at the long range. So they've got a nasty combination of abilities then.
Well, that's just standard. That's, you know, they beat you and they can push you out, or they can change your range, right? They can.
They can pull you in closer, and push you out. It's there.
They can pull you in closer if anyone really wants a hug from
it's
a giant squid.
It's a standard standard alien ability. Yeah.
I mean, it's a standard ability. You can also do it, but usually, you know, you like being at near range, so I never ask when you're at near range, or try not to. I gotta look.
I thought that they could. Is that right?
Yep. There was an alien.
That's right.
The desert dogs got to do that every time, regardless. That was their special ability. So this is just the vanilla version.
They got to beat you.
They got to beat you. Yeah.
They got to be successful and have a higher roll than yours, and then they can change your range. In exactly the same way that if we have a successful roll and a higher than theirs, we can change our range.
Yep.
And it's, I mean, and technically, and it may not even be pushing us out, because the range is a relative thing. It could just be them, you know, circling out back around to get further away from us. You know, but we're in the same spot. all
Yeah.
kind of depends on how they're doing it. So I got to change weapons since I got pushed out here.
Okay.
I got to holster my sidearm and pull out the, the auto fire spear gun that they issued me with instead of a slug rifle. So
Okay. Yeah.
I'm still firing my e-cannon, but I'm doing it more to try to like learn more about this regenerative ability. Like I'm firing it, as troopers, get kills on them, I'm like firing on the corpses to just try to see if there's some way to disrupt their ability to reform. So
Okay.
I'm firing my e-cannon, but in a non-fighting ability type way.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So I guess learning more about this ability. Cool. Yeah. Okay. And Puckett, what's the plan for Dietrich? Trusting
Keep
that
shooting.
9 to get you closer next time, huh?
Keep shooting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is how you beat them. They roll a miss. Okay. So they got a 10, which is a miss. BD, you're safe changing your weapon.
yep.
Dietrich, kill.
Oh,
and then,
can I change ranges too, or is that only on a successful FA?
or when you specifically say that is what you're doing.
Got it. Okay. Oh, you're doing it as your action.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Dietrich, you get to roll kills.
If you succeed on a FA or AA before your opponent, you can change range by 1 step at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
which
cool.
is for you get to change range, and for them they get to change your range. Yeah.
Cool. Move me to near.
No, it's FA or AA. So it's the alien ability. So the rules.
Oh, alien ability. Got it. Sorry. Okay.
So Dietrich, 2 kills, and you get to move into near range.
And I would very much like to do that. I do not like being pushed around by aliens.
Okay. Let me move you in. Okay, and Miter. Let me remove you in. Okay, and yeah, what do you see? I think you see when they're reforming, right? There is 2 things that happen, and I think you maybe, it takes a few shots, right, to work out the pattern, right? So you see them being killed, right, and then you kind of feel, and maybe there's a back glow from the crystal iceberg, so that the whole sea around you is kind of softly glowing blue, and then you see those corpses, or however badly damaged they are from the troopers' weapons, glow the same color, and there's like a pulse, and then they start to reform. So there's like a signal coming from the iceberg, like rewriting their DNA or something freaky science like that. So yeah, you can work with that, I guess. So yeah, next combat round.
Yeah, I've like I said, I've got that auto fire harpoon gun out, and I'm.
Yeah. How about Miter, Brian?
I think I'm going to continue on this route. I think he starts keying in some modifications to his e-cannon to try to like You're going to see it firing the same color as that this glow from the
Okay.
crystal to see if he can't disrupt the signal.
So yeah, typically, right, we give you like a +1 bonus to your next FA or your next NFA for that. You can maybe stack those if you want, or you can use that info to although you don't usually need this kind of thing for a strength, you know, you can work it into a strength if you want to make it
my hope is like if he can modify his E-cannon well enough that basically he could, I guess mechanically, I guess the effect would be we could like get rid of 2 tokens around potentially instead of just 1 every time. Because if they can just regenerate every time, then it's going to take, all we can ever remove is 1 token around. So I'm hoping that like he can like fry some of the corpses so they can't be reanimated.
Okay, so the tokens that are being used to pay for the ability are coming out of the pool and not the encounter. So every time they regenerate,
right.
it's all 4 back in.
Right. So I'm saying if what I'm picturing as is you guys get a couple of kills and then I'm able to actually permanently kill one of your kills. And so that token can't be regenerated, and then they also have to spend a token to regenerate the rest of them. It would still take like a perfect round on all part. Like you both would have to get a kill, and I would have to like succeed.
Well,
that's what I'm picturing. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's not explicit, but right when you remove the last token from the encounter, you win the encounter. And so, you know, what I would say is if you wipe them in 1 round, they cannot regenerate because you won the encounter. So the encounter is technically over, right? So yeah, it still means you need a perfect round, but remember, you know, the perfect round means all 3 of you hitting.
I mean, that's once we get it. That's once we get them down to 3.
Yeah, and they're down to 3 now.
Technically, you don't need to even ever let us do that because you could just take the token from outside the pool every time.
That is true, but they're down to 3 now, right? So
yeah. I mean, I could just fire on them if this is all like outside of what you want us to be able to do with an NFA.
Well, I mean, if it's reasonable to spend,
or if it's maybe more than can be accomplished in the middle of combat, and it's maybe something
maybe there's something that you can work out. You know, if you like, imagine if you charge your weapon and you know exactly what frequency you're hitting for, you're basically like postponing 1 FA check to make 2 in the following round or something like that. Like you say, to do to store up for a wipe, right? If that's what you're aiming for, you could definitely do that in a later encounter.
I mean, something like that.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
what I was picturing.
Yeah. Okay. So this round, just shooting, right?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so here is Leandro. Hey, Leandro.
Hello.
How are you?
Not too bad. I'm full of beef and chocolate cake and merriment and wine. So I'm ready for bug zapping, I guess.
So let's get a quick intro from you and for Trooper Apples, and then let's wait for the other guys to catch you up. And we have just started a combat round, so it's a perfect place to drop in.
Oh, cool. Yeah, hi. I'm Leandro. You see him pronouns for this leg of 316 Carnage Amongst the Stars. Well, I was playing a different character, but sadly war happens, and so I'm playing a new character named Trooper Apples. Uses she, her pronouns, if I remember correctly, because she was an NPC. Soldier, and so now that she doesn't.
No, Leandro, come back.
Communications is sketchy with our newly arrived trooper.
I'm going to say he's doing an amazing job of holding really still.
He's got some, yeah. It's. I think his transponder got wet. I think probably.
Okay, I can see you moving now, Leandro.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened there. How much of that was captured? Oh my gosh.
Remind us what Trooper Apples is known for and what her personality is like.
Yes, Trooper Apples was, again, the producer of a bunch of propaganda pieces involving a very handsome, very charismatic, very dead soldier. Since that job's gone, she's back to the front line. And her personality is described as talks like a train, which basically means she tends to speak a lot.
Okay. So, Brian, do you want to catch up your trooper, thrust into the center of the action?
Yeah, so it's an ocean planet with moray eel type aliens. The dropship was modified to be submersible. Our armor was, modified to be underwater gear. And what happened? We dropped in. We're fighting these aliens. Every time we kill them, they just the big blue crystal pulses, and they all reform as more aliens to kill. So Dietrich is as pleased as could be because these are aliens you get to just kill over and over again. It's as good as it could get. The rest of us are maybe a bit concerned that this is going to be a long fight if you keep having to kill the aliens repeatedly.
Yeah. So I should add some more tokens because now there's a fourth player, right? I will add 5 instead of the full 6. Right? We're still in the first encounter, but you've done a bit of fighting, so I think this world is stronger than you thought. I mean, in all senses. Okay, so. So yeah, these aliens are swarming you. They have destroyed your drop sub, and they seem to be reforming every time you put a bullet in them or a harpoon in them or whatever your gun is firing. So we've just literally rolled for combat.
Can Apples roll in on this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, why don't you? I mean, I'm assuming you're going to shoot, right? Because you're in near range and you have a gun. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, am I the only one rolling, or?
So everyone else has already rolled. So we were just about to. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, I do want some of that. Okay, so aliens on a 5. Dietrich on a 5, Miter on an 8. So Terry goes first. Wow, again.
Yep. Distracted by all his ideas of how he can somehow stop these aliens from regenerating. Yeah. He only manages to take out 6.
But you don't take a kill. The aliens go on 5, and they are killing everyone else.
So when it's a tie, troopers take a kill.
When it's a tie, you take a kill, and you inflict a kill. So yeah, this giant squid that has just seen to this dropship is, plucking you out of the air, plucking you out of the water, and like dragging you in, and those suckers are burning through your armor. Yeah, it's not nice at all. Okay. So next up is Dietrich on a 5. Okay.
Must be the cavitation. At least I adjusted my sights better than Miter did.
And you're zinging them. They are definitely falling apart. This giant squid is merely a moderately sized squid at this level. And last but not least, apples. Roll your kills and describe how that goes.
God, I'm not used to doing this.
So your slug rifle, I think, at medium range is 1d6. So you can.
When I say I'm not using this, like I think I've rolled once in the last 2 times I was here in terms of killing.
Okay, but the roll 20 commands are fine. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Crestmere was a punk. Oh well, that's still labeled Crestmere for some reason, but it is. Sadly, I'm not.
It's probably in the macro when we copy the guy over. Probably didn't change.
I'll go fix that.
Okay. And when you describe that, you appear and you win the encounter for the company, right? It's,
wow. Still a kill stealing bastard. Okay. Sadly, I'm not as precise as Sergeant Dietrich who apparently can manage to decapitate 31 entire aliens with an E-cannon. Unfortunately, the slug rifle, it promotes a certain kind of discipline. So I think Apples is just kind of like, if anyone's near her, you can hear her kind of whistling to herself, and it's just making sure it's deliberately sighted, and it's just like the last 2 moray eels, and it is just like between the eyes, just straightforward, whatever neural nervous system they have. I mean, they're terrestrial shaped aliens. Gotta keep them brains where they're usually at. So it is just there's 2 straggler moray eels, and it's just bang and click bang. And yeah, we're underwater apparently, so it has to be extra careful.
That giant squid, just it needs that brain somehow. Okay, yeah. So you're cool. You won that first encounter. It's a bit of a close run thing. But I think you've got a ready a ready idea for what you want to destroy if that crystal iceberg is really what's going on.
Yeah, I think this is where we regroup, assess everybody. Anybody that's got any breaches in their suits, they need to slap a patch on them. That includes me. I'm up to my chest in water inside my armor at the end of this encounter, and I'm gonna be wet. It's gonna have a slow leak for the rest of the thing. So I can slap a water type, we can slap a pressure patch on it that will keep us from getting crushed, if we go down to depth or something like that, but it's not gonna, but it's it's probably like a bright yellow, warning label pressure patch, right? So that anybody coming at you knows, oh yeah, just poke them there. And that's, so.
I mean, I hear aquatic animals are attracted by the color yellow, right?
It's possible, but I think I kind of like the idea that we can seal the armor so we can still go down deep if we want to, but it's not actually going to protect us from getting messed up by aliens. Yeah. Cool. And I order late charges on that thing. We're gonna blow it to hell, and then vaporize the pieces. because so that it doesn't reform again, because it may just come back together after we blow it up.
Okay, cool. So everyone heal a kill in between the encounters. And I think the aliens object, to you killing their lovely iceberg. Okay, 5 tokens. So everyone is chipping away, planting charges. Your regular demo situation, and a couple of troopers keeping their eye out, just floating in the dark expanse, torchlights scanning the depths. And I think you start to get maybe they have some kind of a sonar, a special sonar, and incoming is probably what happens, right? So new encounter. Let's check for dominance. Who's gonna roll?
I'll roll.
Okay. And Leandro, so this is a test for dominance based on non-fighting ability. So if you there's definitely a benefit to going if you have a high one, and sometimes it's a bit of a touch and go judgment if you have a low one.
Yeah, I've Kresimir had a pretty good one, but I flipped it for Apple, so no, I'm not gonna go with this one.
You're just a trooper, you're following orders. Okay. Okay, so let's test. Okay, so Brian, you got the highest success of a 9. Aliens got a 2. So you set the range for everyone.
Set it to near.
To near. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think so you get that warning, and they come in at the expected vector, and there's no shenanigans with a pod coming in from a different angle to catch you off guard. And these are orca. They're like angry, razor sharp finned orca, but still vaguely recognizable as killer whales, or killer troopers, I guess we call them in this setting. And they're coming in fast and hard. So yeah, what's firing line, or is someone trying to keep their job going on the demo charges?
I'm going to reach up to my major pips and tap them.
Okay.
And
Force field.
Activate my kinetic armor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So Brian, I'm not. You've seen this in action, but you haven't had a chance to use it before.
I'm uninjured at the moment, so
yeah.
I'll probably wait till I'm a mess before I at the start of combat.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone is killing, I presume? Okay, cool. Well, let's the aliens concur. They are also going to try to kill you.
And I think sidearm per usual. That's what I've usually got ready to go. So.
Okay. Okay, so your rolling is doing you well tonight, Brian. You're going first on a 9.
Yeah, on the ability checks, I'm rolling well. On the kills, not so much.
You're not dying. That's
Yep.
That's a bonus. These guys are killing everyone else, though. Yeah, so I think they are. Yeah, they are. they're fast and they're hard, and I think for a lot of troopers they just pull a kind of a bottlenose dolphin trick and they just slam into you, body slam into you with their nose, and then they start chowing down. They're gulping true troopers, so they're inflicting kill on everyone except Miter, and they're dragging you in close. They definitely are after you to kill you. Sorry, I should do that at the end. Right. Okay. Who is next? Leandro Apples with 2.
Yeah. I think since I'm near, I can only get 1 kill.
Did they not drag us in?
Oh, close. Sorry, close.
Yeah. So you're still at near. So.
Oh, am I still at near?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
they're dragging you in at the end. Yeah.
Oh, at the end. Yeah. All right, lovely. Okay.
Is that how it works, or is it the end of?
Yeah, it's at the end of the turn. The range changes.
Yeah. So we still get our kills, and then
you still
exactly,
maintain. Yeah. If that is not the way, we've been doing it wrong for 20 planets. So we'll stick with our wrong situation. Yes.
All those aliens dead at your feet, Donna. At everyone's feet, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's 3 again.
Okay.
Slow and steady. And I think because these are orcas, it's easier to hit them between the eyes. Because they're killer whales.
Those eyes are very far apart, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And Dietrich.
Alrighty. There's 47.
47. Good shooting.
Let's see. 2 seconds here. And then, just to make it interesting, because Dietrich is now at 2 kills, or has 2 kills inflicted on him. I think what happens here is that one of the critters cracks his faceplate and water starts gushing in. And he freaks out because it reminds him of that time that he almost drowned as a child.
Okay.
And just completely loses it. And is unable to, just like, kind of curled up, like almost in a fetal position in the water, sobbing. So I am using a weakness.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 things happen there. You get out of the. So I guess the flashback you've already done, right? And
yeah.
But you're out of the encounter, right?
Yeah.
And you remove.
Now I'll make that adjustment to my character sheet.
Yeah. You remove the token. Okay. And then they're dragging Apples and B in close. So is Dietrich just floating dead, or pulling the flotation device on the suit to get out, or how do we see this on the battlefield?
Flailing, just like panicked flailing, because he feels like he's drowning. Whether he actually is or not is irrelevant. He feels that way with that gust of water, or that blast of water hitting him in the face from the faceplate. So I think what you see is he just stops fighting and is just desperately trying to plug the hole in his suit, completely forgetting that he's got a patch for the armor. He just panics.
Okay. So adding an encounter. And now, just to make your fellow troopers feel even better, I'm spending 1 token and returning all 4 tokens removed in that encounter. Because I hate freedom and troopers. Okay. So, what do you do?
We're in close and they're just coming right at us, and shooting them doesn't seem to help. So this is, I like, my goes like this, my glove, and shing, 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 like adamantine spikes come out of the tips.
Yeah.
And I twist a little knob and electricity crackles along it. And I'm gonna power claw these guys.
Okay. And Apples, in close and personal. I mean,
Yeah. Gosh, this is.
so you can use your slug rifle, right? So it's
Yeah.
still effective. It's just not doing a lot of kills.
Yeah, I can still use it.
Fix bayonets at this point.
Yeah.
You can say you're using hand to hand, which is maybe a bayonet or whatever.
Yeah.
You could use a grenade if you wanted to. And
Apples did not learn the lessons. Kretschmer did.
and just to remind you, right, Jim's character is not taking any damage. Sorry, it's any damage at all, right? Or is it no damage from aliens?
I don't take any kills that armor could prevent.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. Cool. So, I mean, you're not going to hurt him with your grenades.
Yeah. I think I'll keep stuck in. I'm still only in a mess. I can take one more hit, probably.
So you're a mess, and then you've got armor.
Yes.
And then you've got crippled, and then you're dead. But between then, you've got weaknesses and strengths to get out of dodge or to just win, right? So
yeah. Just to clarify, because this is a new character, I only have one slot of strength, right?
One strength, one weakness is what you should have at first level.
So no, but at the end of this session where Kretschmer died, Leandro's character got an advance.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So you treat it as you take whatever advances Kretschmer had.
So it's a little bit of a bookkeeping mystery because Kretschmer used the strength, but you always get one strength back, right? When you bring in a new character, and then you got the advance. So you there's a bit of a shell game going on. So she has 2 strengths and 1 weakness.
Okay. All right, let's get to that.
That's cool. Oh yeah, like that's your reward for playing a character that gets killed. That's entirely reasonable.
You get to you. So usually, like if you had more weaknesses or strengths used, you don't get all of those back. You just always have at least 1 strength. Right?
Yeah.
I guess that worked out for you. Okay, so
I'm staying stuck in. Apple.
Getting stuck in with the slug rifle. BD is Schnick. Miter is at the perfect range for the good old E-cannon. Okay, so killing.
It's the first time I've gotten to use my power claw.
Wow. Okay. So, Alien's got a 3, and somehow beat everyone.
Apples, you want to use your combat drugs?
I might actually, I might take it.
So there's a once per planet. You get to re-roll your FA. Just don't roll 10 because then you die from that as well.
Yeah, and when the aliens roll a 3 is a good time to do that.
Yeah,
when you completely fail and they really low, so there's a very good chance.
You say that. Over the weekend, I rolled 4 dice and all got fails. So the dice have never been good to me. All right, I'll still do it. I think what this looks like is, so she's a bit of a mess in that, like one of the whales, like I don't know, shot teeth at her. No, I'm kidding. One of them did get like close and get like she managed to shoot it, but like the force like knocked her silly. So like at this point, she kind of like needs to like see a bit clearer. So she'll take these drugs. Kind of inject her. Okay, go ahead.
It's not the worst result. It's a hit, but it's equal to theirs, so they still get to kill you.
Okay, I'll take that.
Okay. I mean, you are the best performing trooper on the battlefield this turn, right? Let's look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you roll your kills and describe what happens?
Yeah. I think this will be the grenade. I'm sorry, Major Miter. But we're underwater. Did you write up the rules for dealing with grenades underwater? See, I don't think so. See, you didn't get to the specialized part.
None of the regs are really properly suited for underwater combat.
You correctly surmised, Leandro, that at the beginning of the game, someone gave Miter crap about, oh, it's probably extra dangerous to use grenades in the water, isn't it? So,
yeah, I think like Apples either did not read the revised guidelines that well, because she didn't have two different officers showing her out for it. But I think this is just a case of like letting the orcas get close, and she just kind of like, unhooks it and lets it float towards them. All right.
Stick that in your blowhole,
Yeah. Well, it takes out the entire 7 of them, so that's good.
So for next time, because there's risk involved in using a grenade, you have to declare using a grenade before you see any rolls. But it's okay. It's no problem. So the aliens, that angry orca that you kill, I think takes a bite out of you. So inflicts a kill on you, and also on the majors. We both roll 2s.
Yeah, they're chewing on my force field.
Yeah. Sorry, they do not inflict the kill on BD, but they are, those teeth are really interesting, right?
Yep.
You're getting a good look.
Yeah, I mean, are they like? Does it look like they're made out of that crystal? Like they're impregnated with it or something like that?
I think you probably see like. This typically only happens when they regenerate, right? But I think up against the force field, you can kind of see them growing, like trying to apply more pressure.
Sure, yeah.
And yeah, they're glowing blue a bit as they hit the force field. So Terry, why don't you roll for kills and.
And I got 11.
Nice. Your power claw is doing 2d10, is it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I bumped it to 2d10. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. The dragon miter in close. And yeah. Let's go for it. I wanna get you to use some of those strengths you've been hoarding. Those orcas that you're blowing or are cutting into pieces, I think they reform and they split. They're going like, I don't like this. These orcas are good for quick attacks, but they revert back to lampreys. And they are like zooming in all around you, like they have you surrounded. This is what Dietrich would call a target-rich environment. So, what's the plan?
Snicked.
Okay.
And I'm just yelling, pour it on! Stay on them! We're wearing them down!
I'm sticking with the E-cannon because I'm hoping to be able to retreat back to
move out. Yeah, okay. And Apples, you got another grenade, or are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm not in an optimal kind of position to pour it on, as Major BD would say.
Hand to hand.
Yeah, I think. Slug rifle would still get one. So
to go back to your slug rifle would take a round
you have to change.
You got to do NFA.
Yeah.
Hand to hand, you can switch to for free.
Oh, okay, cool, lovely.
So, like, who doesn't love the? I mean, it would have been cooler if they were sharks. Punching sharks has got a certain je ne sais quoi, but punching lampreys sounds a little bit dangerous, but hey, that's what you signed up for, right?
It's slightly more impressive because lampreys are harder to hit.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's kill. A 7 from the aliens. They're gonna chew you up. Not Jim, obviously. I think you've got, maybe 5 or 6 lampreys just chewing at that force field, and I think you got a close front seat to their regeneration, right?
Yeah, I'm just kind of shredding them off of me. And mostly I'm not actually attacking anything. I'm just kind of slicing them up as I'm yanking them off of my suit, I think.
Yeah. And then likewise for Apples and Miter, take a kill.
Since I have a spare strength, can I use that now?
You can. Are you close to dying?
Yeah. Yes, I'm 1 off from dying.
This would be an excellent time to use it.
This would be an excellent time to use it. I was thinking, right, there's 5 tokens here. Who can resist 5 tokens for a strength when everyone is down to their last tendon?
You take a kill.
No, sorry.
Okay, but before that second L in kill sounds off. Okay, so what's the flashback?
Yeah, this is hand to hand, so this is more than a bit ridiculous. I think the flashback is to a star cruiser. It's a small kind of one. It's one that's kind of it's like a fishing vessel, but instead of fishing in the ocean, they fish at the edges of gas giants. Looking for that, extraplanar kind of fauna. And it's just Apples and by themselves at the deck, and they've got this big harpoon kind of gun, and they're just kind of whistling to themselves. It's like a work day. It's just a regular day. And I think and she sees on her radar, oh, there's a catch there, and she's just doing as you're told. Points the harpoon, the giant harpoon cannon, more and shoots it off. And there's a line next to it, and it lodges into the weird. Imagine the gas is a weird purplish greenish kind of gas. And it latches onto something, and then Apples turns on the mechanism to reel it in, but the rope is slack, as if there's not much effort to reel it in. And then there's this bulk coming out of the gas giant, and she can tell that this creature is less being reeled in and more coming towards them, towards the yacht. And I think there's just this split second where Apples stops whistling, and her eyes kind of widen as this maw of teeth kind of clamp against the yacht, and it crushes the cabin part, and she hears a lot of cries suddenly kind of snuffed out as this glistening just jaw of teeth come in, and Apples is she could feel her mouth kind of dry up almost. And I think she gets the same feeling here in the battlefield, even though it's kind of wet and, it's all underwater. She feels her lips kind of dry out, as if she can't, if she tries to whistle, it'll come out horrible and wrong. And all she has on her, because she shot her harpoon, and in this version, the orcas, the lampreys that are close, all she has is a knife in her hand. And she does this in the flashback. She does this mad dash, jumping on top of the maw and just stabbing as much and as hard as she can, because that's the last desperate thing she could do. Fortunately for the flashback, she managed to hit this thing in the eye, and managed to make it go back. Here underwater, So I'm not gonna. I only get one, and apparently that scares off all the all the other lampreys. Or maybe when they swarm in, they form back into one big orca.
Yeah. I think maybe in the shot, right, we see the flashback, and then when we go back to the real world, we see them all coalesce and come for you, because they know you, right? They know apples through some crazy psychic connection, and yeah, I think they combine into one, and they get a knife in the brain for their troubles.
Bit of a tactical error on their part.
How did not see that one coming?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and saves the rest of you. And I guess we wrap up that encounter with a charge going off in the crystal iceberg, and it splits, right? This charge is well placed, and it splits, and the bit, the top, well, not half, the top third or whatever it is, just loses its blue glow instantly and just bobs around, and then the bottom part glows slowly into the darkness and into the depth. And I think that is a good place to cut for a break. So after Trooper Apples saves everyone's bacon, even Sergeant Dietrich, who seemed to lose it there in the middle, what's the company up to? What's the state of play?
I think I need to have a talk with Sergeant Dietrich.
Probably need to revive him first. He's basically floating. I mean, you can be brought back for a while after you've drowned, but he's just floating there. There's still that hole in the faceplate.
So I presume we've got some kind of maybe rafts or something that we can deploy, and well, or is there enough of some of those other icebergs that we can make a little operating base? Or
I think maybe the original plan was to set up inflatable areas, but now after seeing what's down there, nobody wants to be on the water. So you've got I think that iceberg that you half destroyed is probably as good a place as any to.
Cool. All right. We roll back Dietrich's helmet, assuming the atmosphere is otherwise breathable here.
Yeah.
And I pop a smelling salt under his nose.
And Dietrich starts basically just puking up water. Just water after water after water.
Mm-hmm.
Shakes his head a little bit and finds this. Major?
Sergeant, what the fuck happened there?
For a second, I thought I died.
I expect this sort of thing out of troopers, not out of you.
Panicked, sir. Faceplate got cracked. Forgot the patch. Panicked.
Excuse me, you what?
Sir, I will repeat myself. I panicked.
Why are you alive right now?
Presumably, because you revived me, so I can continue racking up kills for you and keeping your troopers alive, sir.
Sergeant, you're alive because a trooper figured out how to keep these bugs from coming back and putting themselves back together. And I kind of kneel down and I kind of like, I do one of these like, take in this vista with me motions, right? What do you see there, Sergeant?
A lot of water, sir.
A lot of water, yeah. Sergeant, do you understand that that's where we're going?
Yes, sir.
Having experienced this sensation of panic, will you be able to identify it when it comes on and hold it off until we can complete our mission, get back up to the ship, and then perhaps we can send a telegram to your grandmother?
Yes, sir. Won't let you down again, sir.
Drowning, Sergeant, is my understanding relatively, I mean, there's a few moments of panic, but it is a relatively peaceful way to go. It does not, however, get you the funeral with honors that being killed by a bug does.
That is a very good point, sir.
If you would like to go, whatever kind of bug it is that puts a tentacle through your face or spits needles in your eyes or whatever the fuck it is that bug does to kill you, I want to go back to command and tell them that Sergeant Dietrich died standing up, finger on the trigger, screaming at the thing that killed him. Is that what you would like, Sergeant?
Sir, face toward enemy, sir.
All right. If your suit fills up, keep shooting. Because the only way that the water's going to get out of your suit is if we can deal with the bugs and then someone can help you. I don't know that if you pull something like that again, there's going to be anyone around to pluck you out of the water. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Fix that faceplate.
Sir.
And, walk away. Stand and walk away.
What does Apples make of that dressing down?
Yeah, I think she did see that from afar. And I mean, last time we saw Apples before this mission was helping Dietrich out with with those letters. I think there's like I think that she'll give it like 5 minutes, leave Dietrich alone, and then just kind of like watch to see what he's doing. So I don't know if she wants to like just go up and just straight up ask, "You okay?" Because he's a commanding off. Well, he's a high he's a higher up. What's Dietrich doing?
Fixing his faceplate, like the Major said.
Yeah, I think she'll leave him be for now. I think I think she feels like the last thing he'll probably want is like another person going, yeah, how are you doing? You okay? Oh, actually, no. She won't say it outright. Instead, she'll have an icebreaker. I think she'll just like walk up and say, Sergeant Dietrich, you mind if I ask a question?
Apples, I understand you're the one who figured out how to kill these bugs.
Yes, sir. I guess that's what the brass is saying. Really, I'm just applying lessons I learned from the Force and from beyond. If it does the unit any good, then I'm happy. Anyway, do you still want more of those energy drinks? Because we're down to the last crate, and frankly, we will still have 3 crates without your help, sir. So I would be, and none of the rest of the troop want them for God knows why. They're quite peppy.
And at this point, you see Dietrich kind of stop and look up at you and say, Apples, take a seat, would you?
Sure. Apple sits down, probably not next to him.
Have I had the talk with you about calling me sir?
I believe you have, and also I happened to be around when you were telling Kresimir about this. It's a force of heart. It's just a force of habit, sir. I mean, Dietrich. It's just is what it is. I'm trying to purge it out of the vocabulary.
I understand why, and for everybody else, absolutely, yes, sir, no, sir. Sir, as you say, sir. You know how we are in this unit. You earn that. You come by it honest. You don't call me sir anymore. You just call me Dietrich. No sergeant, no sir, just Dietrich. Or that asshole, whichever you prefer.
Well, if you're an asshole, Dietrich, at least it's not against us. And she pulls out like an energy drink.
I say, did you really just say at least he's our asshole?
Well, I figured out how to take care of them aliens. I don't know if I can do the same for yourself.
Oh, there's no taking care of me at this point.
She kind of gives you like a look, as if like to just say, really?
And I just grin. Did good out there, Apples. Better than I did.
I'm only as good as folks I follow, Dietrich. I can only be as good as those I have to follow.
Please. You figured out how to kill them aliens. It's more than I did.
I think she's still holding up the energy drink. I've forgotten what we called it. It was blue something.
It was Blue Bull, was it? Because it obviously doesn't give you wings.
No, God, no.
How many more cans you got of this stuff with you?
Just one more crate. Just one more. The rest of the troop they think it's cursed.
One more crate on the planet or one more crate at total?
Hopefully in total, I'm not sure. Probably won't get back to base. They've sent like 2 more. It's not like we have anyone endorsing them at the moment. You're not thinking of endorsing.
Drinking 2 or 3 right now?
Oh,
yes,
well,
I am.
I'd be down for that.
And Apples, who the hell would want my endorsement on anything? I mean, what am I going to do? Say blue glow, it gives you kill?
Sounds like a winning endorsement to me.
Yeah, with your kill count, yeah.
So, Miter, you're getting a call, or your radio guy, Zeno, who I think is the guy that Dietrich was previously telling to enjoy this like a vacation, is hollering you over to his side of the iceberg to listen to something. they've gotten a message from Lieutenant Rivera. I think this is the platoon who are terrible at water training earlier, right? They're under attack. They need a help. Their perimeter that they've been looking after is collapsing. Lots of strange things. Business as usual, but strange things coming out of the water at them. Would appreciate a dig out. Maybe you can send over that dropship to pick us up, huh?
Yeah, the dropship's out of commission, but we'll be there directly.
Well, I mean, I can remind you that you are also a major and also have a dropship, right? Available.
That's true, huh? Okay. Where would my dropship be though? Is it?
I mean, yeah. You call it up and they launch it at you. You tell the pilot to get out of your seat.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have it. The dropship meet us on the iceberg, and then we'll start coordinating everyone loading up to get over there.
One brand shiny new dropship on the way. So they are whatever the perimeter was. 20 clicks out in maybe 100 meters apart, just as a perimeter, maybe within a small reserve to reinforce, and they are getting pushed back. So threat tokens 4. Okay. So who is? So I presume, Brian, are you driving the dropship?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. And who is? So yeah, I guess you're flying like a good old-fashioned dropship, and then plunging into the water as before to get down to their level. Who is going to check for dominance? Apples is quietly worrying about Dietrich in the back. Okay. So everyone except Leandro to roll for dominance?
I think I'm going to pass on the dominance roll.
Okay. Well, you're getting a ambush. It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
So, who has the highest success? Is Jim. BD has a 6. Okay. So you're setting the range? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll set it at near. I've got my my sidearm shooting out the out the portholes.
Cool. So there's 4 of you. There's 4 tokens. So I'm gonna remove them all, and you're just gonna roll kills.
That's what I'm talking about.
Roll kills, and tell me how that goes.
So let me see here. Let me make sure I know what I'm doing for my slug rifle. I think it's 2d6. Yep. Mm-hmm. There's 7 kills.
Okay.
Kind of strategically place them. And I think what we're doing is we're dropping down on the squad that's getting attacked.
Yeah. And
so I think what we know to do is, like, they hit something, it blows up, and then they're moving on to the next target. When what they need to do is be focusing fire to completely obliterate it so that it can't regenerate, right?
Yeah.
And so I think we've learned that lesson. And so that's what, like, my fire is focused on, like as the little bits are coming together, I'm shredding them, into just a fine mist so that it's so, shredded it can't come back together.
Yeah. And I think these might be jellyfish. They are
Sure.
giant,
big, like gross
car-sized jellyfish.
Portuguese man of war.
Yeah. They are reaching out and touching you, or they would be if they hadn't been ambushed by your drop pod. Okay, so who wants to roll their kills next and describe how they get on?
Oh, it's an ambush, so we're just rolling kills.
Yeah. So you're just rolling kills. So it'll be D6, I think, for your slug rifle.
Yeah. Hold on. Wow. So there's an even 6. I think what this looks like is Apples is humming again. Actually, no, she's properly whistling. Actually, no, she is humming. She's humming Old MacDonald to herself. Just, Old MacDonald, do that. And when it gets to the E-I-E-I-O, in between each syllable is a shot. E-I-E-I-O. And each shot gets one of these life forms as the dropship passes by them.
How about Miter?
I think rather than firing weapons from the dropship, I'm actually just like flying through the remains to just like scatter with the wake of the ship these jellyfish bits.
Cool. And now for the main course. Dietrich, let's see what you got.
I think you see Dietrich being methodical, but he still seems a little distracted. So he's making his kills, but there's something going on.
Yeah.
It is certainly the most reflective, introspective, kind of in his head version of Dietrich that anyone has ever seen.
Yeah, and I think, you blast these jellyfish, they're not coming back. And, the platoon has taken a few losses, but mostly they're pointing at their commanding officer, Rivera, who is not, well, maybe still alive, but not really. You can see his suit of armor just floating there along with the rest. And, there's a chunk of blue crystal coming straight out his faceplate. And it's not like something threw it at him. It's like it's growing out of his faceplate.
I'm just pull out the flame gun and just I'm just going to town.
Yeah. Is this like a purely calculated reaction, or is this something more visceral than we usually see from BD?
No, this is purely calculated. This is very, very much like, like I take note and I turn to the troopers and I say, the suits are compromised. They've been, the suits are compromised. They've been infected. Anybody with a flame gun, you're with me. And this is body detail.
Yeah. Cool. I think there's probably an extra briefing in the middle, so you pick them up, get them back to somewhere safer, and you're on the vid with Borowski, and he is saying, we're pretty sure that this whole planet is like alive, and whatever those icebergs are, those are like nerve endings for the planet. So we need you to go down deep, and we're gonna have to do something tectonic, let's say, to kill this whole thing. Based on what we saw from Rivera, I think we might need to give you some kind of a shot, right? We, no idea what's going to be happening if they're going to take over, or whatever. Like, they seem to be able to control everything that's alive here. So let's make sure it doesn't happen to you guys.
Understood. We'll wait for the drop.
And some med tech arrives on a drop ship to
probably a drop pod. It's like a medic with a bunch of hyper ampules or something. Yeah, just yeah.
And like jabs everyone. Or take 2 of these and don't come and see me in the morning.
Well, and I think that like it's definitely like needle in the neck is like we can't roll up our sleeves or anything like that, right?
Yeah. Well, it's probably a faceplate, so it's probably directly into your.
Oh,
face.
he probably just injects it into where the combat drugs go.
Yeah. There's a connection.
Yeah,
there, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Which is very nice. I think I prefer them having to inject it directly into you. But so I mean, presumably there's no side effects, right? It's all good.
I don't know. I mean, you want to ask how it makes each of us feel when the injection comes in? Or?
Yeah, I think like when you get down there and you get to come into close contact with a crystal, then both time and the kind of nearest effect of what it's meant to combat is gonna make you feel something. So think about it.
Whatever it is, it passes through you quickly because you feel the injection and then you taste it in your mouth like 2 seconds later.
Yeah. What does it taste like?
I think just a strong bitter. Trying to think like what to compare it to.
Okay. Well, yeah. So you have your new dropship. You've been pointed at, effectively like an abyss towards the heart of the planet. So diving, and I think it takes a while, right? It's not like a quick dive like you've done previously on combat. It is, maybe it takes half an hour or something like that of diving, diving at full speed. What's the chatter like in the drop sub during the slow descent?
Major BD, since Miter is flying, BD is going around saying that this is what all of our missions thus far have led up to. This is a major command center for the Xeno activity. This is striking not just in the metaphorical sense, but literally. This is a literal decapitation strike. Think of this planet as one of their heads, and we are going to remove it.
Okay. What's the chatter like between people once B has moved on with the pep talk?
I think Apples is yapping about the taste of the drug that was given to them. She's trying to decisively pinpoint like what bitter substance it is. It's a bit like it's like if you season boysenberries with vinegar. Not that I've ever had boysenberries seasoned with because that's literally the opposite of delicious, but we're kind of around that ballpark, maybe a different kind of fruits. Let's say maybe raspberries, or maybe we should get away from the whole berry family. It's definitely seasoned with vinegar. We've at least pinpointed that, and she'll just keep going on and on and on.
And who is going to tell Apples to shut the hell up about these berries?
You're thinking of Anise.
Sorry, say that again.
You're thinking of Anise. Black licorice. Concentrated.
Huh. I think if Dietrich's saying it, like Apples will just kind of like make a but we'll just shut up.
And Dietrich probably seems really weird to you right now. Just like, first of all, where the hell did Dietrich learn what the word for anise is, much less how it tastes? And he just seems he seems cold in a way that he normally doesn't.
I think I probably, before I could say something about first of all, what does he know about licorice? We probably I don't know, alarms or something kind of blare off as we get close to where we're going.
And you notice that this is going on after the injection.
Nothing to be concerned about, I'm sure.
And Ryder up in the cockpit, like what are you seeing as you kind of come into the kind of hot zone for where you're heading?
I mean, Terry has a long-standing precedent that he will stare out into nothing, blackness of space, straining to see anything. So he's, probably taken slightly longer than necessary because he's like convinced that he's seeing things in just the dark depths that he's steered us around. But so I think at first, like the light in the distance, he's not quite sure if it's real or if it's another one of the mirages he spotted. But then it gets brighter, and I mean, this is like a brain, this is a nervous system with but on a massive scale. So it's like being able to see the, electrical currents of the neurons, firing off to propagate out to the rest of the planet. So I think it's, a little bit Tron, a little bit, some kind of science brain.
There's a lot of blue crystal going on.
Computer animation, lots of blue crystal. Yeah. And I think at first, it just seems like random firing, but then if you stare at it for a while, you start to kind of see patterns and loops of things repeating and that kind of thing. But,
Okay, so who's going to roll for dominance? Is
I'll
Dietrich
roll.
up to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And Leandro not apples. No. Okay. So let's.
So when do I activate my armor? Because I'm activating my armor.
Before the encounter. So you just say you're
You just say
activating it now.
I'm activating.
Yep,
it,
yep, and there you go.
Okay.
That activates it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Those rolls don't look like they're doing anything for me, but I definitely see a 9 from Terry. So I'm assuming. Did you see your results, Jim? Or
Looks like everybody succeeded, but
Yep.
I succeeded the most.
That's true. Yep. I got an 8. What did you?
I
what
got
did
a 7.
Did the aliens succeed?
yeah, they got a 6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some reason it's split up with, on it, but yeah, you're all succeeding better than it, but it's still succeeding.
Yeah.
So
6, 7, 8, 9.
6, 7, 8, 9.
And when do we activate a strength?
At any point,
Whenever you want.
You can do it right now.
you can do it right
Yeah.
now.
I'm going to go ahead and burn one.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the last aliens on the planet.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean,
Excellent time to use one.
In my hand, I'm going, maybe I keep one out and use it, but hey, all in. So roll your kills, I guess, and do your flashback, and then let's see it on screen.
All right. Plus 46. So the flashback is in basic. Dietrich had gone off base with permission and wound up in a local bar. And some of the locals started making fun of him because he's not overly gifted with what you would call intelligence. And eventually he figured out that they were making fun of him. And then one of them made the mistake of actually touching him. And in Dietrich's world, once you have touched him, that's when he gets to cut loose. And, it's one of those people just kind of poke him in the chest like, what are you going to do about it, soldier boy? The arm remained attached, but not intact. And the guy's friends decided to get aggro as well. And Dietrich proceeded to destroy the entire bar. Anyone who was in it and did not run took a beating. And when the MPs came to collect him and asked him what had happened, he said, they shouldn't have poked me. And all you see with this is Dietrich coming off the ramp and just laying waste to everything before anyone else can even get a shot off. And it says, do whatever you need to do. I'm sick of this place.
So the last token you kill is the planet, the sentient planet itself, like the brain at the heart of this thing.
Fitting that Dietrich killed the brain, isn't it?
What does that specifically look like? Is that just one more amongst many, or is that
I think
specific?
And Jen, let me know if you're okay with this. I think BD just kind of says right there.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, oh yeah.
And Dietrich just goes over and just basically, you can't really empty a clip on an E-cannon, but
fry the battery.
I think what happens is eventually BD has to come over and say, that's enough.
Oh, I don't think so. No, I point at it and I say, Sergeant, we need that to. I don't just need that to destroyed. I need to not exist.
Sir.
And I'm just gonna, and you like, I'll let you go to town until you feel you've worked it out. This is good therapy, good aggression therapy here. I'm not going to stop you.
So at that point, I think basically everybody just kind of stands around and watches Dietrich blast a deeper and deeper hole, drop a couple of grenades in every now and again, wait for the explosion, then continue firing.
And
I think eventually it does burn out the power cell.
Yeah. And at that moment, right, when it goes from pummeling at this thing to pummeling at its corpse, the brain at the heart of the sentient planet dies. And at that moment, you all feel sick. What? And let's hang a hat on that lampshade. Whatever thing in that vaccine you got, necessarily has some of that crystal in it. And when the planet dies, you feel sick because of it.
It's better than having, and if anybody complains, I say it's better than what your captain got.
Yeah, no one wants blue crystals growing out of their brain. It's on the list of very bad things that can happen to you. It is definitely, high up on the list. Maybe not top 3, but okay, and that is the planet.
Evac on out of there, yeah.
All that way just to let Dietrich, wail on this thing. Nice. Okay, so yeah, we're done. How's shiny new metal for Dietrich? And I guess we'll do our after planet bookkeeping. What's Dietrich like on the way back up and into orbit?
Uncharacteristically quiet. Just not staring into space, but looking intent, purposeful.
And how about everyone else? A certain amount of hooping and hollering and inevitably complaining about the vaccine is going on, but hey.
And I think I'm on the wireless talking to Borowski.
Okay.
And reporting what we saw and, asking, getting intel from him on what happened to our 2 prisoners and all that kind of stuff. And making sure that there's decontamination procedures for everybody when we return.
Yeah.
Because all of our suits got breached and all that kind of stuff and everything. We want to make sure that whatever we can do to make sure that we're free of any of this contamination. Or alternately, if we do detect that there are some troopers that have it, make sure that they're closely monitored and observed for how the growth proceeds.
Yeah, I think anyone, you still have that test, and maybe since last time it's a little bit more sophisticated.
Sure.
So anyone who's flagging above a certain level gets put in ISO chamber.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And everyone else just gets scrubbed and given a booster shot or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's do our let's do our paperwork. Everyone is fine again. You heal fully between missions. Whoever has the most kills, I'm pretty sure that's Dietrich, gets a level. So this may be you maxed out now, Puckett. Is it?
I think so. Let me check my stats real quick. Yes, this will be max because you said you can have 18 points total, correct?
8 points total, yeah, and it's so it'll be 10-8 or 9-9, depending on how you want to go.
Oh, it'll be 10-8.
So you gain that final weakness. So you should have 5 and 5 with a few filled in, and the quality of that weakness will be hatred for home.
I forgot to add a strength and a weakness on here.
Okay. Yeah, so you just got that final weakness. So
yeah, it should be 5 and 5, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. You might have forgotten a strength last week or something. Okay, and the other 3, you'll roll a single d10. Highest gets the extra advance.
Does Brian still roll even though he's maxed out?
I imagine no.
I do not know. I presume not. Yeah, I presume not. You can't do anything with it. So yeah.
I mean, other than hose us.
Yeah, exactly. And given the way the game is structured, sometimes I wouldn't be surprised to see that is in there.
I don't think it's in the rulebook because I went looking for it and didn't find it. So send Gregor to whatever tweet Gregor Hutton.
Yeah. So Gregor,
Yeah. Isn't he's right around the corner from you? Isn't he in Scotland?
He's across in Edinburgh. So
yeah.
But unfortunately, we haven't gotten to do our convention meetup this year.
Yeah.
Not since January. So
cool. So should Leander and I just roll? Is that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Ooh, so close.
I got it.
If you had both rolled a 9 or both rolled an 8, that would have been the perfect result for you both because you both would have advanced.
We both would have got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, BD, time to start upping that fighting ability, huh?
Yes. Very much so.
And then everyone gets to improve one weapon by a step at 1 range. So, Andrew, you can bump your assault rifle from 1 to 1d6 at close range, or bump 1d6 to 1d10, 1d10 to 2d6. I think that's all you have to worry about right now. Okay.
It's 1d10 from 1d6, correct?
Yes. Now, remember, if it's your E-cannon you're talking about, it will probably have maxed out at 1d6. In fact, yeah, so it started at 0 at close range and far range. And so it goes to 1 as its first improvement and d6 as its second improvement, and then it's maxed out.
So it's 1d6 maxed out on both.
Yeah.
Okay, that was already maxed out last week.
So your E-cannon is as good as it gets.
Yeah, unfortunately. All right, guess it's time to start working on the flame gun.
So the other thing that could happen is demotion for Dietrich.
Unless you want to try to promote first.
Yeah, unless you want to promote first. So you cannot be demoted if you have promoted and you use the strength, so you're able to. So let's everyone gets to roll NFA to go for a second development. So I guess just make your make your roll first, and then you can decide.
I made it.
Really? Did you roll those dice?
If you insist, I will.
And that's for the second weapon improvement, correct?
So it's one of three things. It's either a weapons improvement, or a new weapon, or promotion.
Okay.
If you use
Well,
the
in that
strength, you can
case,
promote.
or like if you have some kind of specialty thing for being an officer, you can use that NFA roll to request
to get
to
a
requisition,
dropship back,
like to get a dropship back, for example.
Okay.
To get a new dropship requisitions. Yeah.
well, I was going to go for promotion, but I will roll it again since I thought we were rolling for a second.
No, it doesn't. You just roll and then you get to pick. So you roll a success. You can choose promotion.
I rolled a 2. So
yeah. So you can go for Lieutenant Dietrich.
And I think that's largely through the graces of people kind of looking at it, and it's like, well, he did just kill a planet.
Yeah, yeah, and that's got
maybe
to be.
We can forgive him almost drowning.
that's got to be, and so that protects. You cannot be demoted because of your weakness if you already promoted. So, nobody likes drowning. Everyone freaks out when they nearly drown. That seems fair. I mean, you destroy a planet, no one's gonna judge you for that.
You win some, you lose some.
You win some, you lose some. Okay, and then for BD and for MITRE, who made their NFA checks, business as usual. A different weapon you can improve, or you can claim that dropship, that shiny new dropship.
I requisition a new dropship. Yes.
Yeah.
I fill out all the paperwork, the forms, the triplicate.
That is not the usual requisition form.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's a box at the bottom. What happened to your previous whatever it is, right?
Yes. And C attached, and they get a like perfectly formatted using standard Terran Marine report format, typed 1.5 spaced report of what happened to my previous dropship.
Okay. I thought you were going to say a perfectly spherical dropship, from the depths of the ocean. Okay, cool. So
my dropship is still intact, so
yes.
I went ahead and upgraded my grenades.
So is that from D10 to 2D6, or have you already done that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's 2D10?
No, that is the first upgrade I've given to my grenades.
Okay. Okay, cool. I mean, I was going to ask, I presume that's at close range, but why would you want to use anything but E-cannon at near range? But there you have it. Okay, yeah. This is a big day for the brigade. Lieutenant Dietrich. Someone gave that man pips on his collar. Those new recruits into Dietrich's platoon are not going to know what hit him. I mean, I think what's happened here is that you're taking over Rivera's platoon, right? The guy who was crystallized.
That makes sense.
So yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, and you got a new medal coming. And have you breached 2,000 kills yet?
Hair away.
So close. Yeah.
I'm at 1927 total, I think now.
Yeah. Okay. You could have gotten the trifecta. A promotion, a sword, a crimson sword, and a bar in your kill badge, a second bar in your kill badge. Spectacular. Okay, so yeah, I think.
Now, does he get a crimson sword or a crimson skull?
Oh, I think because he's still a sergeant when he gets
Probably
it,
a sword,
so,
I guess, because he
yeah,
earned it as a sergeant.
yeah. That's one for BD maybe. The regs might might have something to say about that. It probably is just as simple as it depends which order the paperwork is done in. You know, which clerk signs off on which first. You know. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think we want to see some. You know, you've cleared Romeo sector. You have killed the planet, which is obviously to blame for everything that has been going on the last few sectors. And yeah, I think it's probably time for some serious booze, right? As no. I mean, I think BD might have gotten a tin of biscuits from home, right?
Oh, yes, yeah. Some of those cookies that I receive on the regular, like clockwork. So, yeah, but I mean, I think the scene for BD is, you know, I am, you know, putting one of them into my mouth and chewing as I walk into the quarantine area where the two troopers were. And I want to know what it felt like when it died. You must have known.
And
what did it feel like?
In McCready's eyes, you kind of see like a hint of blue, and his eye color is not blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "The same as it felt for you, brother."
I like kind of like little wry grin. And I say, the difference between you and me is that I am capable of separating what I should do from what I want to do. And you haven't been my brother since you took off your armor. And I just want to make sure you know that we are just starting, and that if that hurt, and I hope it did, there's a lot more pain coming. So look to the stars, because whatever it is that's in you, it's only a matter of time before you and he are the last of your kind.
And yeah, I guess you just have the glint in his eye to see you at the door. How about Miter? What's Terry doing?
Well, we need actual official field manual regulations for underwater combat. Those are woefully inadequate. So he's tearing through, writing up a version of that.
Yeah.
Because yeah, as it turns out, combating aerial aliens ×2 is not the same as underwater aliens.
Yeah. So you know you're in your little like office, looking at older versions of after action reports from other Waterworlds and trying to come up with something. And there's a pile high of old field manuals, and there's a lot of stuff buried in there. And like outside the door, there is one hell of a party going on, right? And every so often, someone opens the door and says, "Come on, Major! Like we got a bottle of tequila here that is slowly transforming into mezcal, and I don't know if I can handle it all." And it's like, I don't know, is it like shut the door with me on this side, or is it?
I think he goes out, but like, I mean, he's probably just bouncing back and forth because he's just kind of hyperactive. And, yeah. He gets tired of both in turn, so he's going out and then just.
They're gonna feed you some blue
not
worms.
Comfortable it's not comfortable either place, so he's just bouncing back and forth between.
So a blue worm is tequila and one of those energy drinks mixed together. So
with an actual blue worm in it.
Yeah, I think I like that. Yeah.
How about Lieutenant Dietrich?
Well, if Jim's okay with this, I think Dietrich is looking for the Major.
Yeah, I think you would probably find me walking back to my quarters from the isolation lab.
Sir, do you have a moment?
Lieutenant, would you like a and I have like a, like it's I mean, literally what I get is like one of those like round tins of the Dutch cookies, right?
Oh God, the Danish butter cookies.
Yeah, the Danish butter cookies. And like resting on my hand is one of the little plastic doilies, right? And I've got a sleeve of like, there's like 3 left. And it's the kind that are like a pretzel that have the like hard sugar crystals on the top.
Yeah.
I raise an eyebrow and I say, Lieutenant, would you like a shortbread?
Sir, never had these kind before, but I would be delighted to try one, sir.
Please go right ahead.
And Dietrich picks up the cookie and nibbles at it thoughtfully. And you see an eyebrow go up. And for this, I mean, given that it's Dietrich, an eyebrow going up might as well be him proposing marriage to this cookie.
I say, it's a nice palate cleanser after the taste of that shot.
Indeed, sir.
So, and I grin and I just very gently tap the lieutenant's bars. I say, surprisingly heavy, aren't they, for little pieces of tin?
Yes, sir, they are. That's why I came to see you, because I learned everything I know about lieutenanting from watching you, but I'm sure you know a whole lot more than I saw. Besides reading the regulations, I wondered if there was anything you could tell me or any advice you could provide.
Well, walk with me, will you, Lieutenant?
Sir.
So, and we're just going to kind of, and I'm just going to do that like Aaron Sorkin, like, right? Like talking to him as I'm walking. I've got my hands behind my back. And we're just kind of, and we're going to like walk the perimeter of the ship, right? So that whatever portholes are like looking out in space, we can see and stuff like this. Is there any particular area that you feel remiss in?
Permission to speak freely, sir?
Granted.
I don't feel like I deserve them. Does everybody feel that way?
No, not everybody feels that way. Some people do feel, well, it's a gamut, Lieutenant. There are some who feel that they don't deserve it at all. There are some who understand that it is a significant responsibility, and there are others who feel that it is not nearly enough, and that it hasn't come soon enough, and that they deserve far more. And here's the secret, Lieutenant, which is that deserve has nothing to do with it. And the sooner that you get notions of deserve out of your head, the more effective you will be as an officer. Does Terra deserve this madness that we are out here fighting? Of course it doesn't. Did that, did Crestmere deserve getting his face bitten off? Of course he didn't deserve it. Do I deserve this command? Who can say? You have those bars because you were in the right place at the right time, and hopefully you can continue to be in the right place more than the wrong place at the right time more than the wrong time. But really, that's all you can do. And you seem to, for the most part, enjoy what you do. Remember that. Hang on to that. There's different sorts of officers that are good at different things. You may have noticed that Major Miter and I pay attention to different aspects of what goes on in the brigade, and that we excel in different areas. Find the area that you excel in and concentrate on that, and don't worry too much about the things you're not good at, because as long as you're minimally competent, if you are excellent at that other thing, you will deserve this.
Sir, this is a responsibility I never much imagined. But I will work to ensure that the soldiers under my command stay alive and healthy and killing. And that I earn this as I go forward.
That's all you can ask of yourself, and it's certainly all I can ask of you. Everyone on Terra, they don't have to ask us. We do it for them without asking. And we stop by Porthole, and I point, and I say, 3 inches off to starboard. You see that flickering yellow dot?
Sir.
That's it. That's what you're responsible for. That's what all of us are responsible for. Never forget that, and you'll deserve it.
Thank you, sir. Like I said, I won't let you down again.
Would you like this last cookie?
You can see Dietrich struggling.
Don't tell Terry I gave it to you.
Sir. And he starts nibbling on it as he walks away.
What is nice seeing guys? What is Apple's up to?
I think it's just a quick shot, and I think it's in the barracks. Major BD might refrain from the drinking and whatnot, but the common rank won't. The problem is there isn't much to go around. So yes, it had to be spread around by mixing a bunch of those with the with the blue energy drink, whatever's left of them. I think there's just like a moment where like, oh, we only have this many bottles of vodka. Okay, all right. How are we going to divide this up? And next thing about vodka, Apple just like slams down this crate. Just kind of like pats it. Pats it. And then like she's about to say like, no, you know, thank me later. But then she remembers, oh wait, she pulls out like a can of those worms. And it's like, just not the most literal cherry on top, but it works better with these bad boys. And I think she just, you know, them higher ups, they can deal with that. I'm down here drinking and enjoying being alive.
Cool. Okay. Anything to add for Miter, Brian? Oscillating between the paperwork and the partying.
I mean, other than just the paperwork getting sloppier and sloppier as it gets a bit drunk. No, I think that's it.
Okay. So yeah, I think we can close there. We'll be returning to the next and final sector in spring, maybe March. So we'll see who gets on board for that. And I'll stop recording.